Hi guys! Actually, today I was scheduled to make a video. I was actually scheduled to make a video about finance or finance related, but somehow I was guided to make a video about intuition. So I have no choice but to follow through. So here it goes. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'm gonna share with you what intuition is, what are the different types of intuitive abilities, and how to develop them. So keep on watching. Have you ever experienced thinking about a friend and then suddenly she messages you? Or thought about the words power outage out of nowhere and then BAM! Power is out. Or while studying, you're just more drawn to this particular sections in the coverage, only to find out that represents 50% of the exam. Well, I did. And that, guys, is intuition kicking in. And here's the thing. When you actually start to listen to your intuition, you can never go wrong in life. Like, it is a real life superpower. How cool is that? Intuition is our own internal compass. It is like our own internal ways that guides us in our path. Its purpose is to provide us with indicators of decisions or situations that are for our highest good. We are all born with it. Some of us have more developed intuitive abilities than others, but we are all born with it, and that means that we all have the capabilities and abilities to develop them if we wish to. It is like sharpening a dull blade or exercising a muscle. It is not a question of absence or presence, but a question of how developed they are. But before we dive in any further, it is important to recognize the difference between intuitive abilities and psychic abilities. What? They are different? Yes, they are different. Different but related. Intuition, like I mentioned earlier, is our own sense of knowing, while psychic ability is one step above intuition. It begins to manifest when we start to consciously work on our intuitive abilities through constant practice. So, what does this mean? It means that instead of having this feeling of wanting to call your friend, you'll just know that your friend is in pain or is hurt or is heartbroken. Or instead of having this general feeling of not wanting to study for the exams, you'll just know that your teacher is not around or your exam is postponed. See the difference? Psychic abilities is more than just a hunch. It is an extrasensory perception, or ESP. You get information as images, as words, as feelings, or as thoughts. You use them, the spiritual senses that underlie the physical ones. The way you personally get this information depends largely on your dominant type. Are you a visual person, auditory, prefer relying on your gut, or you simply get things? Your personal strength or your dominant intuitive type will be that little seed that will determine your psychic strength. So before we find out, or in order for us to find out what is your intuitive ability, or what is your dominant intuitive type, we have first to take a look at the 4 different types of intuitive abilities and what they mean. Knock knock. Who's there? Intuition. Intuition who? Intuition baka mahal na kayo. So the 4 different types of intuitive abilities are clairvoyance, clairsentience, clairaudience, and claircognizance. So first is clairvoyance. Clairvoyance is also called clairseeing. It is the form of intuitive ability that see things in their mind as images, as words, as short movies, as symbols, or as impressions. It is your spiritual sight. So most clairvoyants usually have prophetic vivid dreams. My cousin is a clairvoyant. She would have these vivid dreams about the people in her life. I remember her sharing to me once about her dream of her friend being pregnant, only to find out a few days later that indeed her friend just took the pregnancy test and it was positive. So that is an example of clairvoyance. Second is clairsentience. Clairsentience is also called clear feeling. It is the form of intuitive ability that feels or physically senses information in their bodies. People who are predominantly clairsentient will often talk about having this gut reaction to events or situations. So people who are clairsentient will feel information anywhere in their bodies, and this is called having a body clue. I am a clairsentient. There's this one time where I felt a very tremendous pain in my stomach for no reason. It was the first time that I felt that kind of pain in that area of my stomach. A few days later, my mother called and she complained to me how painful her right lower area of her stomach, and she has been experiencing it for days already. So, the pain that I felt a few days earlier was actually my clue that one of my family members or one of my loved ones is actually feeling that pain. Another example is when I would feel a heavy heart, or I would get nervous out of nowhere. So there's this one time when I was at work doing my daily routine, nothing fancy, just ordinary day in the office. Then all of a sudden I got nervous, like my heart was thumping so fast and I cannot explain it. Then a few moments later, my crush actually walked into the office, and there I realized, that's why I got so nervous, because it was it was my crush who came inside the office, and we have that connection, that spiritual connection. So I actually felt that nervousness. So eventually that crush became my boyfriend, and I asked him about it, and later I found out that it was not my nervousness, but it was his. I just picked it up because of that connection also. So yeah, so that is an example of clairsentience. Third is clairaudience. Clairaudience is also called clear hearing. It is the intuitive ability to hear information inside your mind and receive it as a statement, as a sound, as a song, a lyric, or as a vibration. It is the easiest of all types of intuitive abilities because you can hear it. I am also a clairaudient. There's this one time I was chatting with one of my colleagues at work, and then I heard the words childhood sweetheart out of nowhere. Then I told her that maybe she will get reunited with her childhood sweetheart. She was surprised because according to her, she hasn't mentioned about this childhood friend who once courted her in the past to anyone. So I told her I didn't knew about it until today. So that is an example of clairaudience. Lastly is claircognizance. Claircognizance is called clear knowing. Claircognizance see or perceive intuitive information as a hunch or through an impression where they know what the answer is. Of all the 4 types of intuitive abilities, claircognizance is the strongest because claircognizance receive information instantly and will know what will or will not work. This intuitive information is received as a warm feeling that emanates from the chest or through a rush at the top of the head and is received as a complete statement or idea. I also am a claircognizant. So just yesterday, I was hanging my freshly washed clothes at the rooftop of my apartment, and I can see that my neighbors who also hang their clothes there were hurriedly picking their clothes because at that time the clouds were dark and then the winds were blowing strongly. So I cannot blame them for thinking that it might probably rain. I mean, there's a very good chance that it will rain at that time. However, I just know inside of me, like it's like a complete truth inside of me that it will not rain. So I know it was illogical at that time, but I did not get into peer pressure, and I don't blame them if they believe it that way or reacted in that way. So I still continue with what I was doing. I still hang my clothes, and only to find out later that day that I was right. It did not rain the entire day and my clothes were dry. So yeah, that, guys, is an example of claircognizance. Like, you just know. You do not hear it, you didn't feel it. It's like, it will not rain. Like, it's like truth. So, how do we develop these abilities? Are you sure you want to know? Okay. So, I give you 4 tips in developing your intuitive ability. Number 1 is recognition. Recognize that you have this intuitive ability. Some of these abilities are more apparent than others, but yes, these are all present within you. You should be able to recognize when your intuition speaks to you. Recognition is very important because without it, you will not know whether these abilities have been developed in the first place. Second is meditation. In order to develop your intuitive abilities, you must have a deeper connection with it. And meditation is a very powerful tool for it. Regular meditations will help you clear your mind and teach you to better recognize the subtle impulses within you. So I recommend that you set aside time every day to meditate on your own, or if not, use the guided meditations that are present here in YouTube. Number 3 is capture your flashes. So, our intuition will usually speak to us through flash of insight, like an aha moment. So for example, I should call this someone because this could help me in my project. Or I should go to this event because I might meet my future husband there. When this happens, recognize that this is your intuition speaking to you, write them down, and follow through. Number 4, trust yourself. The more faith you demonstrate into your intuition, the greater results will be. Whether you want to create a winning plan for your life, make better decisions, or solve problems faster, you will get better results. You will achieve your goals faster and more effectively when you tune in to your intuition and listen to what your inner wisdom has to say. Trusting your intuition means trusting yourself. And when you listen to your intuition, the more success you will have. Some of the tips that I mentioned will take practice and patience, but it will all be worth it. Your intuition will be like your own magical wand or your own real-life superpower. You will wonder how you moved through life without it. Intuition is not just for the spiritually gifted. It's for all of us. So use it. There you have it, folks. What do you think of this video? Comment down below. If you like it, hit the like button, share, and do not forget to subscribe. Also, you may want to click the notification bell so that you will be notified whenever I upload a new video. Till next time, mwah.